Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh, Baha Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Baha Hashem, Kerha Kadash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching His truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That'd be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like, for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person or so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up of stuff news of stuff that's going on around the world. Most of it about cost of living, inflation. But this first video I got is about Russia running out of gas, or gas stations out of gas, or fuel, diesel, Anyway, it's basically like a bunch of bad news. And it's looking worse and worse, and it's only going to get worse. But anyway, I'm going to play these videos. I'm going to get into the script, my best ability to say whatever God say through spirit and power. Yahweh Shema Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Kerha Kadash. Lord will be on me. Let's get it.
A fuel shortage has begun in another Russian region, the Lipetsk region. Gasoline is still available in Lipetsk, but it requires a long line. A driver who traveled from Oral to Lipetsk reported that in the Lipetsk region, drivers abandon their cars at gas stations because they're out of gas and wait for tankers. In Lipetsk itself, there are huge lines at gas stations for fuel. If there's no line of cars at a gas station, it means there's simply no gas. True, some gas stations still have autogas, but that doesn't make things any easier for owners of gasoline and diesel vehicles. A local resident is asking rhetorically on social media how she'll be able to fill up her car now. I just don't know what to do now. How am I supposed to fill my car with gas? All these sirens. Where are we heading? I'm actually getting scared, the driver said. The fuel shortage in Russia has arisen because the government supplies the army, neglecting the needs of the civilian population. Furthermore, Russia sells oil and fuel abroad, spending the proceeds on continuing the war against Ukraine. All this makes Russian oil refineries and other oil facilities legitimate targets for the Ukrainian armed forces. Many regions of Siberia, as well as throughout Russia, are experiencing fuel shortages. Gasoline and diesel shortages are currently being observed in the Novosibirsk and Tyumen regions. Novosibirsk has introduced a limit on gasoline sales.
Yeah, that's funny. They are providing... No, I guess they're producing their own fuel, and they're selling it, but they're running low on fuel, but like you said, man, it's contributing to the war effort, and they're gonna be the same way with the Americans. What did Trump say about the reserves? They're like weeks away from this shit going empty. It probably is already damn near empty. Anyway.
No more than 40 liters per person per receipt. Furthermore, the use of canisters has been banned. Local authorities believe this will help alleviate the fuel shortage. Fuel sales restrictions have also been introduced in the Tyumen region. For example, in the city of Tobolsk, individual drivers are limited to 40 liters of gasoline per person, and legal entities are limited to 80 liters. Refueling in canisters is also prohibited. Local drivers are shocked. They've apparently never encountered such a problem before. One driver, upon seeing a notice at a gas station about restrictions on gasoline and diesel fuel sales, said it was certainly scary. The gasoline and diesel fuel shortage in the Tyumen region began almost simultaneously with explosions at a local oil refinery.
Yeah, and they say this is rationing fuel, they're going to be rationing food.
With an
medicine, anything else, energy, and fuel is energy. Yeah, they rationing fuel, they're going to be rationing electricity.
Annual processing capacity of 7.5 to 9 million tons. The explosions at the Tyumen oil refinery occurred on June 20th. Local residents heard at least two
I forgot about that, because they be attacking those oil refineries and shit.
Explosions at the refinery. The cause is unknown, but an air raid siren had previously been issued in the Tyumen region. Problems with motor fuel are currently being reported in most regions of Russia. These are due to strikes by the Ukrainian armed forces on Russian oil refineries, which supply fuel to the Russian occupation army. Furthermore, the Kremlin is spending money earned...
Alright, anyway, let's get to the next video.
Bauer, Pittsburgh, and U.S.
In this market in Tunis, Mufida makes her living by trying to sell the leftover goods other vendors couldn't offload. She barely earns enough to get by.
I'm always worried about earning enough to recoup the cost of the goods. It's really not easy. I earn my living day by day.
Over April and May, the cost of tomatoes climbed to between 4 to 5 dinars, double December's price. Shoppers are having to cut back.
People don't buy by the kilo anymore. They buy individual items. That shows they can't afford it.
The inflation is down to a combination of things. Some of it's because of bad harvests, but also middlemen are hiking up prices.
Distributors at the wholesale market have a margin. Some sell strawberries for 3 dinars, other for 5. I only trade with 2 or 3 of them, so I have to take the price they request. I make up a bit by going to farmers directly for certain fruits, but the transportation costs me.
The government's attempts to regulate prices have had limited success, and higher prices are even more painful for those out of jobs. Unemployment figures are high and not going down. This dilapidated industrial zone is abandoned after courts ordered the closure of the paper recycling plant until it can be updated. 60 families have been affected by job losses.
The factory has been closed for 9 months. We can't keep up the maintenance, electricity, and water have been cut off, and the roof was almost destroyed after heavy rains. I tried to reach officials, courts, ministers, and even the president's office. I don't understand why they left us in such a state. Why did they leave us closed when this is a region where people need jobs?
Many communities like this feel unseen and unsupported amidst the country's economic crises. The main national labor union is pushing the government to restart talks with them on the social and economic pressures felt by so many Tunisians.
Canada's inflation rate has risen to more than 3%. And if you own a vehicle, you may not be surprised to hear what's driving the rate of inflation. CBC business reporter Angie Seth joins me now here in studio with more on this. Okay, so new data just came out. We're talking about gas prices too, but what are the numbers?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're sort of looking at that. But as you pointed out, Statistics Canada reporting the consumer price index increasing 3.2% year over year in May. This is up from 2.8% in April. And of course, the first time we've broken that 3% mark in 3 years. And we talked about the higher price of gasoline, main driving factors there. On a year-over-year basis, it rose at a faster pace, in fact, in May compared to April. And that is, of course, due in part mainly to the war in the Middle East in terms of those rising gas prices, the closure of the Strait of Hormuz as well, of course, playing a big factor in all of that. And what economists are also watching for very closely is the cause of the surge in inflation and whether it remains entirely contained to energy prices or is it spilling over into other areas. And I want to switch over to produce because that is where we're seeing some of those early indications. The price of vegetables rising 9% in May compared to last year. Things like broccoli, cauliflower, tomatoes, and lettuce are some of the big drivers. But there you go. I want to highlight tomatoes. They jumped up 45%, which is huge. And Statistics Canada is noting this due to supply contractions in Mexico stemming from poor weather and a reduction in planted acreage following the implementation of U.S. tariffs. We're seeing that effect of tariffs as well. The price of fresh fruit as well has also risen much faster, at a much faster pace year over year in May, 5.3%. Grapes and berries, for example, are driving up the cost there.
Okay, so we've been talking about some of the key sort of areas that people are seeing it, but you know, it's interesting because of course it's summertime now.
Exactly.
People are also trying to book vacations.
Where do you go and what can you afford? And when we talk about some of that spillover, we've seen it in travel. The cost of travel, the cost of airfare has gone up. Of course, we know there's a story around jet fuel. That's sort of playing a factor in this. Airlines experiencing a higher operational costs. Again, as I mentioned, part of that being jet fuel. And bringing it all together now, these are the factors that the Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklin noted in the last interest rate announcement, saying that the bank is watching all of these things very, very closely, indicating that if there is spillover beyond energy that is driving up the inflation, then that could perhaps prompt the Bank of Canada to change the interest rate. So we will be watching for that.
Okay, thank you for breaking it down for us. That is the CBC's Angie Seth.
From homes to hospitals to...
From the pumps to the stores, it's impossible to ignore the reality of inflation.
Yes, I certainly have noticed a change.
And it's not just a feeling. New data released by Stats Canada Monday confirms the rising cost of living is fact.
Chicken used to be like $13.99. Now it's like $29-something.
The price of fresh vegetables, for example, jumping 9% year over year. Fruit, like apples, facing a more than 5% increase, with fresh tomatoes up a whopping 45%.
Sometimes during the winter, I don't buy that cauliflower.
Hard numbers that come as no surprise to these shoppers.
Elderly people that are on fixed incomes and stuff, it's hard for them.
We are unfortunately at the whim of some people whose motives are not making sure that everybody can afford their groceries.
Economist Tom Davidoff says it's all the trickle-down effect of supply chain issues, fueled by warring world powers, specifically in...
That's the case, but also giving the people a hard time to survive and leading people to them chip implants, the mark of the beast. That's what it's leading down to. Getting y'all people microchip.
Impacting
worldwide.
Oil.
It can't flow easily through the Strait of Hormuz, and that means gas prices are higher, and that means transportation costs are higher. So when you go to the pump, you pay more, but when your trucker delivers lettuce to your supermarket, they pay more too.
It's hitting young Canadians like Jamie where it hurts.
Used to pay about $80 for gas, maybe it's $120 now, so kind of brutal.
It's been on my mind.
And Stephen too, staring down the barrel of an increasingly rising cost of living.
I'd like a family. I'd like to raise my family in a home. To do that here, it's a bit more difficult than other places.
With all Canadians feeling the heat of an economic slow boil. Sarah McDonald, Global News, Vancouver.
Slow boil. Yep. What was that? Let me see. What other videos it got? I thought I seen something else. Oh well. On to the next one.
So something very interesting is happening right now, and a lot of people are frustrated. They're upset about what's going on. I want to explain exactly what that is, but here's what you need to understand. Right now, a barrel of oil is right about $70. Back on February 28th, a barrel of oil was about $72 per barrel. And that was one of the reasons why a gallon of gasoline was going up so quickly. And so what was happening, and again, I find this interesting because of where we're at today, but a gallon of gas back then was way below what it is today. I think it was like around, was it just under $3 a gallon or something like that? That was the national average. Well, today, here's what's interesting. We are at what, $3.80 some cents per gallon, something like that. I think like 384, something like that today. I just looked and I can't remember. But the reason why I think this is interesting is because when oil prices shot up, gas prices across the US shot up as well. And a lot of people said, well, this is normal, but when oil prices come back down, gas prices are going to drop. Well, here's the problem. They haven't. They're not dropping. President Trump even said he's sending the Department of Justice out to figure out what's going on, to investigate this, to figure out why gas prices aren't dropping as quickly as they went up. Well, here's the thing. It happens every single time, okay? Every single time gas prices shoot up because of a war, they seriously shoot up. But then the issue is then they, once they shoot up, it takes them so long to come back down, okay? And so the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention is because we've been telling you this, that this was going to happen, where gas prices were going to shoot up. This wasn't going to be something that, it was going to, we knew it, where gas prices were going to shoot up, but then it was going to take it potentially months to come back down. That's exactly what's going on this time, okay? So now people are furious as to what is going on. Well, here's what I can tell you. Gas prices going up, and we knew it, right? The gas stations, because President Trump is trying to send the Department of Justice out after the oil companies, the Chevrons, the Exxons, those companies. But here's what's interesting, is that as he's doing that, the gas stations, the little mom and pop gas stations all over the country, they're raking in so much money, a lot of profits here, because gas prices are dropping. The barrel of oil is dropping. The gas is coming down, but yet they're still making a good amount of money because they're keeping gas prices where they're at. And so even though they'll get gas prices in, or a tanker of gasoline in, and it'll be much cheaper for them, they're not going to drop prices for you all of a sudden and bring it down 50 cents a gallon. They're not going to do that. And then here in the next several days, we're going to see many states, and this is really troubling, many states are going to have higher gas taxes. And so that's what's going to be in store for us very soon, really on July 1st. A lot of states are going to get hit with the new gas tax. And it's not going to be like $1 a gallon, but it's going to be 2 cents, 3 cents, $1.50 cents, stuff like that. Which you probably think, well, it's not a big deal. It's only 2 cents a gallon. Well, yeah, but you take 20 gallons in your tank. Well, there you go. There's 40 cents, and that's every time you fill up. Well, if you fill up 4 times a month, well, there's $1.60 every single month. Well, times 12 months. Again, not a lot of money, but when you factor in that every single person is doing the exact same thing, it becomes quite a bit. Okay, it's a substantial amount of money that these states are bringing in because of them raising the gas tax. But here's what I find interesting: the Trump administration is now trying to figure out why are these oil companies price gouging the U.S. consumer, and I don't know if they find anything out about that. I don't know if it goes anywhere. But here's what I do know: the American people are struggling. Okay, they're struggling to figure out how they're going to put more gas in their gas tank. I was just at a gas station, excuse me, filled up the car, and you can see it's not a small car, but I filled up the gas tank, and $100 some, whatever. But then right next to me, I see there's $5. Somebody put in $5 of gas. Now, normally, when this would happen, it's a good chance that somebody put in $5 because maybe they filled up a motorcycle, maybe they filled up a gas can or something like that. But seriously, like now, you're seeing more people do that, and it's because that's all they can afford. It's not because they are filling up a gas can or they're filling up a motorcycle. it's because that's all they can afford. All they have is $5. $5 to their name. That's it. And that's part of the issue. Now, where do we go from here, though? That's a big question I know a lot of people are going to ask. And I just want to, say that the difficult part about what's about to happen is that I don't think gas prices drop as quickly as many people are expecting them to. It'd be great to see gas prices come down. More people could do stuff. Things like food would become less expensive.
Oh man, whatever. Anyway, we'll get to the next video. Fuck this shit. Fuck you people. Man, let's get some more video. Let's see what this is about.
Okay, so when exactly did middle class just become pure survival mode? I'm talking like the hunter-gatherer stage of humanity. Because think about it like this, just one mistake, one minute mistake away from sleeping under a bridge.
Can someone please tell me that things are going to get better for the economy, for the world? Just someone please tell me that things are going to get better, bro, because I work from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 2 jobs, and I'm just sitting on my lunch on my second job, and dude, I just can't do this shit anymore. I told myself I would never work a second job again earlier this year. But, bills are bills. You got to do what you got to do. But, bro, I can't keep doing this shit. I'm tired, like everyone else.
Quite a few things feel off in America right now, and many people can feel it. They are exhausted, burned out, and stretched thin in many ways that really didn't exist not too long ago.
I feel like my husband and I are doing everything.
Oh, man. How can I say it? Oh, whatever.
Right.
I was going to say it hurts me when I see a crying Edomite woman. And she crying because it's hard. It's fine. It's just hard for her. Yeah.
We both have good jobs. I'm a nurse. I'm a registered nurse. We work full time. He works full time. We just got paid this past Friday, right? We paid the mortgage. Bought some groceries. Put some gas in the car. And guys, it is Tuesday. And we have like $200 or $300 to last us until next Friday.
Damn. What the fuck is going on with y'all? I got good paying jobs and y'all struggling? Shit.
Like, we don't live in a big house. We live in a little ranch. It's 1,100 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, us and our 2 kids. And like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm in school full time. I work full time. He works more than full time. He works overtime every week. I don't know what to do. I'm so stressed out.
Proverbs chapter 29 verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn. Yep. Even like when you got Esau, Edom, so-called white man, but he ain't white. He's raised as a baby dick sucking Jewish fag nigga, Amalek. They got his own people crying and mourning because they don't have the money to make ends meet. Except for the small hatters, they're making it. They're getting taxed. Hey, they're getting their grocery bills paid and utilities paid through the goyim, the cattle. But soon that shit gonna get cut off. Yep. But these regular Edomites, they hurting. I know you Israelites out there hurting. Hey man, seek the Lord. I mean, we all gonna go through some shit. I mean, we feeling this stuff, but we ain't really been it ain't catching us by surprise. We see this shit coming. We been knowing this coming, and it's really, it's not really hitting us that hard, but it will eventually. That's why we gotta stay faithful to the Lord, man. Pray the Lord give us the strength to endure. Unlike some of these people, man, they ain't got nothing to hold on to. They ain't got nothing to look forward to. They thinking, oh man, it's gonna bounce back. Some of them thinking, oh, this is not gonna come back. And they're right. It's not coming back. It's not going back to normal. America's fucking through, and you gonna be too if you keep hoping America bounce back.
This isn't how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it is, bitch. How dare you say that shit?
Growing up, we were told.
Yeah, they expect things to look great for them. Shit.
Go to college, get a degree, work to support your family. Here we are. Did that. Now what? Now what?
I spent about an hour talking to my grandmother last night. She's 90 years old, and she's actually considering selling her home and her property, because that's the country we live in right now. She's 90 years old, and she has to sell everything that she's ever earned. That's the country we live in right now. My grandfather was retired from the military. She has her Social Security. They both worked their whole lives. She can't afford to live anymore. 90 years old. Put money away, did all the things. And now she has to be put in a position where she has to sell her home.
And like I said earlier about who's running this country, Edom, Amalek. And they don't give a fuck about you people. Shit. I mean, damn. They don't give a fuck about you people. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people. Yeah. I'm going to just start right there because you got unwise rulers ruling over the earth, but not just earth, but America. And the people suffering, even their own people suffering. But all this is ultimately leading to them chip implants. And Esau, Amalek don't give a fuck how old you are. All they want to know is how desperate you are to take the chip implant. Accept that shit, the mark of the beast, because that's what it's all about.
If anyone out there is wondering how Americans are doing poorly, we are doing poorly. Yesterday, I woke up to an email from my landlord saying, hey, I'm raising your rent. Why? No reason. We already pay all of the utilities ourselves. That is not included in the rent. So we pay for electricity, and we pay for water, and we pay for natural gas to heat our home. And that bill in particular has skyrocketed this year. Every single month this winter, it was over $600. And we do not turn the heat on. We just turn it so that we can survive. We do not turn it above like 60. So we're freezing in the house all winter. Oh, and also I woke up this morning to an email from my health insurance being like, thanks for your payment. It was deducted automatically, except this time the payment was $400 more than it was last month. Sorry, what's going on? So I called the health insurance company and I was like, why did this happen? And they said, oh, well, the tax premium expired. And I said, tell me why that happened. Is that because of federal budget cuts? Is that because of the New York State budget? Where did that come from? And they said, we don't know. You have to call the New York State Department of Health.
And it's Gemini. All right, well, I'm going to stop right there since this ad came on. Let's get to the next one.
All new today, inflation just reached a 3-year high. Now, according to the Commerce Department, inflation jumped from 3.8% in April to 4.1% in May. And if you take out gas and food prices, core inflation, that stands at 3.4%. And that's a slight rise from April. Well, that means if the lower oil price...
Workers at a Detroit General Motors...
that was it. I thought it would be more longer than that. I didn't pay no attention.
Facility say they are disgusted after more than 1,000 employees are laid off and dozens of robots are now in the job instead.
And they always say that, oh, those robots that's just coming into the facility or the warehouse, they're just here to learn. They're not here to take your jobs. Oh, they're taking your jobs now. As soon as they learn enough, now there they go. They're kicking your ass out and bringing more robots in. Shit. Come on, bro.
Says this situation isn't how it might look from the outside. So let's get over to Nick, who's got the full story here. Nick, is it as simple as GM replacing hundreds of humans with machines, or is there more to it?
There's more to it, Marky. GM says no, but that's not how it appeals to those who work there, right? The company has not drawn a direct line between each layoff and each new machine. What we can say is that GM cut more than 1,000 jobs at GM's Factory Zero plant in Detroit, which is all electric. Then they installed roughly 50 robots on the assembly line. The collaborative robots, or as they are called, cobots, made by the Fanuc American Corporation, help employees attach body panels on vehicles. GM says they are designed to work beside people, improving safety, ergonomics, flexibility, and competitiveness. The company has also said its production cuts were driven by slower electric vehicle demand. But to workers who have watched their plant shrink, the order of events is hard to ignore. Their jobs disappeared, then the robots arrived.
The threat of humanoid robotics, the mass automation, it's a profound threat and a challenge to our way of life, to our economy, and our political system. We need to be clear about this. We are in a fight for humanity.
Now, a GM spokesperson called...
So what y'all gonna do about it? I mean, talk about it? I want them niggas to go get violent and tear shit up. Yeah, well, meanwhile, we watching and sit back and praying for more destruction of Babylon the Great.
The robots are part of a broader push toward using more advanced tech.
I mean, I ain't advocating violence, but damn, when y'all people gonna say enough is enough? Shit. That's why I'm waiting for the sedition among men. Do something already.
Wide, Marky.
All right, we'll watch that closely, see where it goes next. Nick, thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below.
Yeah.
Something very strange is happening right now here in the United States, where manufacturing is actually growing. Companies are saying they're...
Ain't growing. I don't want to hear that. This is my first time watching it. Hold on, let me get to a scripture before I play this even more, because I don't know where this is going. Because he said manufacturing jobs are growing. So that means what? People are hiring more? I don't know. But anyway, let me read this. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 15. Neither shall there be any word for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rust may do. So all these jobs are a threat, or a threat of. These people are a threat of being let go from their jobs. And soon here in America, which is what they say, Egypt, spiritual Egypt, there won't be nobody working. From high-paying jobs to low-paying jobs, from the executive jobs to non-executive jobs, ain't nobody gonna be working. It gonna be too busy. Hell, there ain't gonna be no need to work anyway, because it's gonna be so dangerous. Your job is to be trying to survive to live, not by working, but just surviving to live.
Receiving more orders, and they're more profitable.
It's gonna get freaking dangerous out here.
Well, they're saying demand is actually improving, but yet we just saw a report today that stated that manufacturers are cutting more workers today than we've seen before, and they're actually rivaling the great financial crisis of 2009 and even the COVID layoffs. That's what's happening at this time. So it's interesting. What's really going on? Why are companies saying that there's great times ahead? They're making more money, they're selling more products, they're manufacturing more inventory, but yet, is there a fear of recession? Why are we laying off employees? That's what we're going to talk about today. Look at this right here.
Okay, so yeah, they are laying off. Because I wonder, what is he about to lead on to saying?
It says factory
things are looking good, but we laying people off. Yeah.
Job cuts in June neared financial crisis and COVID levels, according to the S&P. I want to read a little bit of this article to you because, again, this is interesting. But the crazy part is the manufacturing sector in the United States employs approximately 12.5 million people. That is 12.5 million people are employed in manufacturing. And we are seeing a layoff, or have seen layoffs, that are rivaling the financial crisis and COVID. This is scary. So if you are currently employed, whether you work for a manufacturer or not, doesn't matter. But if you are employed, this could be a sign of what's coming. I want to read something to you. Listen to this right here. So in this report, again, it was released just today. What we're seeing right now is factory employment is falling. But is this because the companies don't need those workers? Are they using automation and AI? Why are these companies laying off employees? Let's read a little bit of this article. It says, job cuts at U.S. factories ran near their highest level since the end of the global financial crisis in 2009 and the COVID pandemic, as worries grew over global demand and rising costs. Okay, now here's what's interesting about this. I want to read this quote right here. It says, most worrying was the further fall in employment, notably in the manufacturing sector. Factory job cuts are running at the highest since 2009 if the pandemic is excluded, reflecting concerns over the sustainability of the recent upturn in demand alongside worries over the escalating cost of raw material. Okay, so let's get right down to it. What is happening here? Well, here's what we know. Manufacturing output increased. Companies were manufacturing more products. But why? Why are we manufacturing more products? Are we manufacturing because new orders are coming in? The answer is yes. New orders have increased. That's both good news, right? Manufacturing output increased. New orders increased as well. So those are two positives, but yet employment declined. Why? I want to read something to you. Listen to this. Companies do not trust the U.S. economy. That's the key here. These companies don't trust the U.S. economy. I even reached out to a friend of mine. Now, they manufacture, they do a lot of like leather goods. Now, and I asked him, read this report, let me know your thoughts. And then before he even sent me his thoughts, and I asked, so what does your company look like? Have you seen orders increase? And he said yes. He has seen orders increase over about the past month. And I asked him why. He said, well, some of these suppliers are concerned about tariffs, that if there's additional tariffs, his products will get hit, he'll have to charge them more. So they're trying to buy early. They're also saying that one of the things that they're concerned with is there's going to be a lot of competition soon because we could see supply shortages. And if we see supply shortages, not just here in the United States, but around the world, then everyone's going to be competing for the exact same products. And so the suppliers are actually increasing their orders. Listen to this though. Many companies reportedly increased orders because they wanted to get ahead of potential supply disruptions and rising costs, not necessarily because they believe demand will stay strong. They say businesses as of right now are stocking up, but they're not confident enough to hire. That's why we're seeing manufacturing is taking off. Manufacturing is increasing, new orders increasing, profitability, well, it's there, right? Some companies doing extremely well, others not so much. But the key here is they're not hiring. That's the difference. Here's one of the problems, okay? The cost problem. This is huge, and you probably have recognized it in your own home. But listen to this. Because of rising raw material costs, higher operating expenses, energy increases, inflation is there, where we are going to see prices increase. So what's happening at this time? Some are still concerned, some businesses are still concerned that they are competing against the world. So that's one issue. But also, if we don't get this conflict resolved in the Middle East between the US, Israel, Lebanon, Iran, what's going to happen is it's going to cause prices here in the United States and around the world to shoot up. Energy prices are already up. But what we're seeing is that we could have a gasoline shortage. President Trump said we had like 4 weeks. This was like 2 weeks ago.
All right, he about to go on to talk about other shit. At this moment, I want to talk about work, jobs. Let's get to this. I ain't played a video from Metal Leo in a minute. Let's see what he can talk about.
From fields of...
The tech layoffs are accelerating, especially here in the Bay Area. And a lot of these tech workers were supporting the local businesses, especially here in Menlo Park. Just look at this. All the tables are set up and ready to go, but nobody out here. I don't see anyone at that Italian restaurant. Not a single table is taken. Just look at all of these shops. Every single one of them is vacant. See, this restaurant in the corner here is as good as gone. The left bank, by the time you watch this video, this restaurant will be gone. This area is dead. There's no more businesses here. Today is Friday, and they are permanently closing on Tuesday, so they have only 4 more days to go. After 28 years in business, the 150-seat restaurant is closing for good. They know it's going to get a lot worse around here. Nobody, I don't see anybody right at lunchtime. It's completely empty, and they are not even done with the layoffs. They still have 2,000 more to go next month. Here's the Italian place we looked at across the street, all empty. Facebook just laid off 8,000 people last month, and they have announced that they're going to lay off another 2,000 people next month here in Menlo Park, where their headquarters are located. I really don't think everyone's aware whether they're getting fired or not. I think it's just a waiting game for now, waiting for that dreaded email to let them know they're gone. I'm going to be walking on Menlo Park Main Street on Santa Cruz Avenue. What used to be a vibrant, large community of shoppers and diners now has been reduced to just empty tables everywhere. Tech layoffs are affecting the local economy in a big way. Over 100,000 tech jobs have been lost just this year alone, and 900,000 since 2020. The worst part about all these layoffs and the bad economy they're bringing to their locals is that it's about to get worse, because a lot more people are getting fired next month. Over 2,000 of them. That's just going to be another blow to this local economy. And right now we're seeing a lot of empty restaurants and shops, but at least they're open. But if businesses are slowing down too much, the next step is they're going to have to close shop. That's what always happens, and that's what will happen here if things get worse. See, the reality is, if all these businesses are not being supported, who's next on getting fired? Everyone that works here at the shops. They're next in line. And we're going to start here at El Camino in Santa Cruz to see how the business are doing right at lunchtime. Here we have stocks, a lunch place, but all I see is stacks of chairs. I don't see anybody out here. They don't even look open. Right at lunchtime. Yep. No, they are open. They are open for sure, but nobody's sitting out here with 74-degree weather. Now I see a couple tables inside taken. Right across the street, right next to the ice cream shop, I see something for lease. That's not a good sign. Sandwich shop is busy. At least I got one table inside and one table outside taken. This boutique's open, 70% off. Really cool shop.
7% off, you know they about to be going. About to be closed.
Flooring store. Now here is a vacant retail space. It says that it's leased. It is quite large. Let's hope that it's leased. Across the street, I only see one table taken over there. And that's about it. All these restaurants are empty. Toy store. Now that's open. And
I'm gonna stop right there. If you want to watch the rest of the video, they go to title, they go to channel. When you read the description, I'm going to get this last video close out. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, the keepers be the people that's keeping the financial systems running, like banks and stocks and anything involving money, finances. Pretty much now it's just crumbling. It's collapsing. It's dying. It's about to be dead. And the Lord is the one that's doing it. Yep. And the strong men shall bow themselves in the grinder seats because there are few. Talking about the jobs, workers. There ain't much jobs and those workers or, Anyway. And those that look out the windows be darkened. The future of America looking pretty bad. And the doors shall be shut in the street, big business, small business being closed up, when the sound of the grinding is brought low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird. And hold on, she at that door. I didn't even know I let her out. Thank you. What's going on with you? I didn't even know I let you out. Damn, I forgot about that. But all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Yep. It's looking pretty bad all over the world and plus here in America, Babylon the Great. So the best thing you need to do, seek the Lord by seeking his prophets. Oh, and I forgot one more video. Chapter 1 verse 6, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye have not filled with drinking. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes. Proverbs chapter 29 verse 2, when the righteous are on authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn. And who is that wicked? Esau, he's so-called white man, but he ain't white. He's red. He's a baby dick sucking Jewish faggot nigga. Amalek.
What in the fuck is this economy? Like, why are we working 40-hour weeks and we still can't pay our bills? Other countries have health insurance and 4-day work weeks, and they fucking genuinely, don't have to stress to survive. Like, we don't even buy fucking outrageous fun things. Like, I just live a normal fucking life and still can't pay all my bills. Like, what the hell? The price increase on power alone is literally insane. It's like 80% from when I turned into an adult 8 years ago. Like, my first apartment, the power bill was like $100, $150, I feel like. And now the power bills are like $500, if not more. Who the fuck is making these prices, and what the fuck is happening, and how the fuck are we gonna change this shit? I will be damned if my son has to struggle the way I'm struggling right now. Granted, I didn't come from shit, but goddamn, I'm trying to make something happen, and it's hard as fuck in this economy. I have good references, good work experience, and you know how hard it is to find a better paying job still? What? Anyways, thank you for coming to my rant.
Man, this bitch looking like she about to lose her eyes. Man, goddamn.
Drop some of your stories in the comments. I don't know. Love you, bye.
I'm 65 years old. I just got through putting in a 9-hour day. I'm struggling to keep up with health insurance, homeowners insurance, car insurance, retirement, taxes, and everything else that our government and the billionaires in this country take from us. I keep hearing people talking about, the billionaires, they provide jobs, they help people to get health care. No. The people that work for billionaires help billionaires become billionaires, and billionaires at least owe it to the people who made them billionaires to make sure that they can afford to live. I don't know how you people get off thinking that we owe them anything. They need to pay their fair share, period. What? When they were only millionaires, they should pay their 20% just like the rest of us. But the minute they become billionaires, what? You think they should stop paying? The people with money should stop having to pay. How do you ever expect our government to be able to afford to function properly when the people who have all the money don't have to pay anything? Our government functions off all the broke people. That's right, us broke people that have very little money, we support the government by ourselves. That's not right. We need to change this.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Elon Musk is now a trillionaire, right? Meanwhile, I'm struggling to decide, am I going to get this ribeye steak or am I going to put that $40 in my gas tank? Y'all don't see nothing wrong with that? Don't nobody find that suspicious? Right? And for the ones that...
I mean, it's not his money, it's the Rothschild's money. He's just a front guy. So everybody can point the finger and say, it's him and Bill Gates and all them other niggas. You got to blame it on, but not the Rothschilds.
Don't see nothing wrong with that.
The bankers.
Y'all must worship Elon because he be doing them Nazi waves, and y'all think he gonna save y'all with one of them little bitty rocket ships when it get hot out here, right? Now, for the same people that don't see nothing wrong with that, you know he stole your data too, right? You know he stole money from your Social Security too, right? And then what he do? He turned right around and poisoned the city of Memphis, Tennessee, man, with that Grok data center, okay? Got all that money and he ain't trying to help nobody, right? Now I know a couple of y'all saying, well, what about Jay-Z? Man, fuck Jay-Z, all right? He can lose Jay-Z's entire net worth and not even bat an eye, man, okay?
At this point right now, I want to leave the United States. I really, truly do. I am willing to give up everything besides my child to leave the United States. I don't want to be here. It is fucking miserable. The wages sucks. I will never own a home. Can barely afford to make fixes on my car. Not only that, we're getting shot at. We are being censored over stating facts of what is happening, especially in Gaza. They really want to not get that out there in the open, especially with the data centers taking people's homes through eminent domain. Babies getting shot, dogs getting shot. Like, I want to move to Europe. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea where to start. If anybody knows of anybody that can help with the process, like, it's terrifying. It's terrifying to leave a place that you grew up in, and the only thing you know the streets, you know the stores, you know the people. But at what point is my comfortability more important than my mental health and my livelihood? Me and my daughter could have a better life outside of the United States. And
what's going on in other parts of the country is going to be the same happening here in America. I mean, the shit that's happening here in America is the same shit that's happening in other countries. It might be a little cheaper now if you move to this country, but hey, they're going to feel the effects when there's dollar crash. And plus, you can't run away from them chip implants, because when they implement that shit going to be worldwide, global.
See plenty of it.
So, anyway, the best thing to do is seek the Lord. I don't know about her, because she could be a heathen. But if you're an Israelite, there's nothing wrong with it. Hey, a heathen, if you feel like calling on the Lord, do that. But I don't think the Lord gonna give a damn about your ass. If you're a heathen, if you're an Israelite, you repenting on that. Yeah, you being sincere. There's a possibility the Lord gonna hear you. I don't know what the Lord gonna do for you. I don't know what the Lord gonna do for me. I just pray the Lord have mercy. Yep.
Videos of people in the United States moving to a different country, and they are so much happier and healthier. And then I get people saying to me, oh, that's not true. They're just like us. Well, then why is there so many people saying that their food is better?
Yeah.
They have a house. They have more benefits than we do with jobs. They're treated right. Like, even China.
But soon, it won't be like that. Soon it won't be like that. Soon it will not be like that.
So I've heard has it better than us. And we were almost made to believe that we are the best. I think we were manipulated to believe that be grateful for what you got because other countries have it worse, but they in fact don't. The United States is like a toxic relationship. The United States is a narcissist. It's greed, it's corruption, it's sex trafficking. The United States is evil to its core.
Yeah.
And I want out.
Hey, I do too. On the way out for you Israelites through Yahweh Shema Shah. But I don't know about her. She a heathen. But you want out. Hell, a missile waiting for you. Hell. Well, anyway, man, that's all I got to say, man. Seek the Lord by seeking His prophet, take heed what to say, and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah. By praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repenting to Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and nothing but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order. Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.